Om. Voice ठीक है? So it's time now. Let's start with Gayatri Om Jap and Gayatri Mantra in the form of bhajan. So let's sit down straight with the back, the neck, and the head in one vertical line. Body totally relaxed from head to toe. Deep inhale and exhale. And while closing the eyes, close also the mind to external thoughts and the heart to external emotions. While doing Om Jap, focus on the sound. The origins of the sound starts with O at the digestive region, the stomach, rising through the spine, coming to the brain, where with Ma, M, you can feel the vibrations at the brain and connect to the sound waves and to those vibrations. Feel the inner peace starting within us. After that, Gayatri Mantra in the form of bhajan. So deep inhale and exhale. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तो ने हमें उत्पन्न किया, पालन कर रहा है, तो तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम। दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तो तेरा महान तेज है, छाया हुआ सभी स्थान। सृष्टि की वास्तु वास्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान, तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम, मांगते तेरी दया। ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला, दाता हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्, धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Join the palms together, rub them gently, cover the eyes, open the eyes slowly below the palms. External light doesn't hit at our eye, and transfer energy to facial muscles. अथेश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थनोपासना मंत्र। ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासव, यद्भद्रं तन्न आसव। ओम हिरण्यगर्भः समवर्तताग्रे, भूतस्य जातः पतिरेकासीत्, सदाधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यः आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्वा उपासते, प्रशिशं यस्य देवाः, यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्यो, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैकैद्राजा जगतो बभूव, य ईशे अस्य द्विपादश्चतुष्पादः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यः प्राणतो, ॐ ये नद्योरुग्र पृथिवी च दृढा, येन स्वस्तभितं येन नाकः, यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ प्रजापते नत्वदेतान्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव, यत्कामास्ते जोमस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम्। ॐ स नो बन्धुर्जनिता सविधाता, धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा, यत्र देवा अमृतमानशानास्मृतिये, धामन्नद्यैरयन्त। ॐ अग्नेन यसुपथारायेऽस्मान् विश्वानि देववयूनानि विद्वान्, युयोध्यस्मज्जोरानमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिं विधेम इति स्तुति प्रार्थना upasana mantra. I'll be taking some of the explanations during the lecture, which would be on Rishi Bodh today. That's why I have not taken explanations here. आत्मन के लिए सीधे हाथ में जल लेंगे. Please take water in the right palm. 3 mantras. Take sufficient water so that when you sip that goes up to down the throat. And each mantra is with 1 sip of water. So take water at the beginning of each mantra and the action to be done at the end of the mantra. Om Amritopastara Namase Swaha. Second time. Om Amrita Pidha Namase Swaha. Third time. Om Satyam Yashah Shirmai Shri Shayatam Swaha. Wash your hands. Take water in the left palm, using the middle finger of the right hand, middle and ring finger. You're going to touch various parts of the body. Remember, it's your right hand side, then your left hand side, and always at the end of the mantra. Om Vangamasisto, Om Nasormi Pranusto, Om Akshnurmi Chakshurasto, Om Karnyormi Shrotramastu, Om Bahurmi Balamastu, Om Urvorma Ujustu, Om Arishtani Mangani Tanustanvame Sahasantu. Agni Adhan, lighting of the lamp. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Introducing the fire into the Havan Kund. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Dhyoriva Bhumna Prithiviva Varimna. Tasyaste Prithivi Deva Yajani Prishthe Agni Manna Damanna Dhyayadade. Samidhadan, 3 pieces of Samidha wood stick. First Samidha with this mantra. When we say Swaha, then offer. Om. It's Agni Samindhan mantra first. Get the fire blazing by pouring 2 free spoonfuls of ghee on the fire. Om Udbhutya Svagni Prateja Grihi Tvamishta Purte Sansreje Thamayancha Asmin Sadaste Adyuttarasmin Vishve Deva Yajamanascha Sidata. Samidhadan, first Samidha with this mantra. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Second Samidha, we have 2 mantras here. The offering would be on the second Swaha, please. Om Samidhagnim Duvasyata Griter Vordayata Tithim Asmin Havya Jotana Swaha Idam Agnayidan Namama. Om Susamidhaya Shocishe Gritam Tivram Jotana Agnaye Jata Vedase Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Third offering with this mantra. Om Tantva Samidbhirangiro Gritena Vardhayamasi Prihachochaya Vishtaya Swaha Idam Agnengirase Idam Namama. Panch Grit Ahuti, offering of ghee 5 times with this mantra. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदन्न मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मात्मा जातवेदस्ते नेद्य स्ववर्ध स्वचेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदन्न मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मात्मा जातवेदस्ते नेद्य स्ववर्ध स्वचेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदन्न मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मात्मा जातवेदस्ते नेद्य स्ववर्ध स्वचेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदन्न मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मात्मा जातवेदस्ते नेद्य स्ववर्ध स्वचेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदन्न मम Jal sechanam, sprinkling of water around the fire, first on the east side, Purva Disha. Om Aditenu Manyasva. Second, west side. Om Anumatenu Manyasva. Third, north. Om Saraswatyenu Manyasva. Now it would be all around the Havan Kund, starting from northeast, moving clockwise and finishing on northeast. Om Deva Savita Prasuvayadyam Prasuvayadyapatim Bhagaya Divyo Gandharva Keta Puke Tanna Punatu Vachaspatir Vachanna Swadatu. Agharavajya Ahuti, first Ahuti on the north side, second on the south, and then in the center. Now in the north. Om Agnaye Swaha, Idam Agnaye Dannamama, south. Om Somaya Swaha, Idam Somaya Idannamama, center. Om Prajapataye Swaha, Idam Prajapataye Idannamama. Om Indraya Swaha, Idam Indraya Idannamama. Now, Pratha Kalin Ahuti, Ahuti is for the morning, followed by Sayan Kalin for the afternoon, and then the daily Ahutis. So it's both ghee and samagri to be offered. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyoti Surya Swaha. Om Suryo Varcho Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajurdevena Savitra Sajurusha Sendраvatya Rushana Suryavetu Swaha. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotiragni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcho Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajurdevena Savitra Sajurusha Sajuratrindраvatya Rushano Agnirvetu Swaha. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idannamama. Om Bhuvarvaive Panaya Swaha. Idam Vaive Panaya Idannamama. Om Svaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idannamama. Om Bhurvasvaragnivaivaditevya Pranapanavyanabhya Swaha. Idam Agnivaivaditevya Pranapanavyanabhya Idannamama. ॐ मापो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवः स्वरों स्वाहा ॐ यं मेधां देवगणः पितरश्चोपासते तयामामद्य मेधयाग्निमेधाविनं कुरु स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितरदुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्नासुव स्वाहा ॐ अग्नेन यस्पथाराय यस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुरानमेनो भूयिष्ठां तेन मौक्तिं विधेम स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. Special ahutis, we're celebrating Rishibodh Utsav this week. And within that context, I'm taking 4 mantras, the last 4 mantras from Arya Vivenai, which we'll touch about. Om Maidamindra Indriyam Dadhatvatmanam Rayom Bhagavana Sachantam Asmakam Santwashishah Satyana Santwashishah Swaha Om Sadasaspatimadbhutam Priyamindrasya Kamyam Sanimedhamaya Sisham Swaha Om Yam Medham Devagana Pitarashopasate Tayama Madhya Medhayagni Medhavinam Kuru Swaha Om Medham Me Varuno Dadatu Medham Agni Prajapati Medham Indrashava Yuscha Medham Dhata Dadatu Me Swaha Om Idam Me Brahma Cha Chatram Chobheshiyamashnutam Mai Deva Dadatu Shriyamuttamam Tasyaite Swaha Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. The first mantra mentions Santwa Satya Naha Santwa Sisha, that we always move on the path of righteousness. Then the next mantras were talking about Medha, Medha Buddhi. Hum sabhi ko prapt ho. We all acquire that discriminating faculty of the mind to be able to make out truth from untruth, to make out the difference between dharma and adharma, righteousness, vice, and immorality, and then be assertive in our duties and responsibilities, shun negligence and carelessness. And I'll link that to Rishibodh during the lecture. Now we are going to Gayatri Mantra 3 times and Mahamrityunjay Mantra 3 times. So I'll leave it. Priyamji is with us from Toronto. Priyamji, I'll leave it to you for chanting Gayatri Mantra 3 times and Mahamrityunjay Mantra 3 times. The kids are not with us today.
Okay. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat.
Swaha.
Sorry, yeah. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshya Mamritat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshya Mamritat स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्युर्मुक्षीय मामृतात् स्वाहा।
Now, Swishtakrita Ahuti with ghee and prasad if you have, otherwise only ghee. Om Yadasya Karmanotyarireecham Yadyanyonmihakaram Agnishta Shrishta Kridvidyat Sarvam Swishtam Suhutam Karotu Me Agnaye Shrishta Krite Suhutahute Sarvaprayashchita Hutinam Kamanam समर्देत्रे सर्वाणः कामान् समर्दय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये श्विष्टकृते इदं न मम नेक्स्ट ओनली घी ओम स्वाहा इदं प्रजापतये इदं न मम पूर्णाहुति ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। Now put everything down, join the palms together. Mantras from Samved Mahavamdev Yagan. ईश्वर से याचना करें कि हे प्रभु हम सभी को सुख शांति और समृद्धि प्रदान करें. Praying to Ishwar God that he bless all of us with sukha, happiness, shanti, peace and samriddhi, prosperity. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Kayanashitra bhuvadoti sada vridha sakha kayashachishtaya vrita. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Kastva satyo madanam Manghishto matsdandhasa Dridachidarujevasu. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Abhishonah Sakhinam Avita Charitranam Shatam Bhavasyutaye. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvubhuvah Swaha. यज्ञ प्रार्थना वंदना जी.
पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे छोड़ दे छल कपट को मानसिक मेरी चाय हर्ष में हो सारे सागर से चले अश्वमेधा यादा चला कर लाभ दे भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहे रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे भावना मिट जाए मन से पाप अत्याचार की कामनाएं पूर्ण होवे यज से नर नार की लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीव धारी के लिए। वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो। इदं न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सबका भला करो भगवान सब पर कृपा करो भगवान सब पर दया करो दयावान सबका सब विधि हो कल्याण। हे ईश सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी सब हो निरोग भगवन धन धान्य के भंडारी। सब भद्र भाव देखे सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो। दुखिया न कोई होवे सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। हे नाथ सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी सब हो निरोग भगवन धन धान्य के भंडारी। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव।
So let's move for Ashirvad. Join the palms together, close the eyes, and vow to yourself that each and every one of us needs to become the due recipient of that grace of God which is flowing around us. Let's patch up all the holes and not stand as a colander in front of the grace of Ishvara, in front of the blessings which are always flowing around us. Patch up the holes of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, etc. and live a righteous life that will enable us to receive the blessings and become the recipient of those blessings. Om Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama Om Purna Santo Yajamanasya Kama Om Safala Santo Yajamanasya Kama. So the first part, Satya Santu, that says the desires, the wishes of the Yajman be truthful. And if those are truthful, then surely we'll be able to make them Purna Santu, complete them. And then Safala Santu, the truthful wishes, desires be complete with 100% success. Swasti mantra. Om swasti na indro vridhashava swasti na pusha vishvaveda swasti na saksharyo arishtanemi swasti no brihaspatir dadhatu Om bhadram karnebhi shinuyama deva bhadram pashyemakshaviriyajatra sthirairangaistoshtvang सस्तनुर्भिर्व्यशेमहि देवहितं यदायु Om Swasti 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now volunteers for bhajan, please. Premji, go ahead.
जी। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। सो के लुट रहे थे हम, तूने हमें बचा लिया। अंधों को आंखें मिल गई, जाति में जान आ गई। जादू सा क्या चला दिया, अमृत सा क्या पिला दिया। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। वाणी में क्या तासीर थी, स्वामी जी तेरी बात पर। कितने शहीद हो गए, कितनों ने सर कटा दिया। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। श्रद्धा से श्रद्धानंद ने सीने पे खाई गोलियां। हंस हंस के हंस राज ने तन मन व धन लुटा दिया। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। अपने लहू से लेख राम तेरी कहानी लिख गए। तूने ही लाला लाजपत शेरे बबर बना दिया। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। तेरे दीवाने जिस घड़ी दक्षिण दिशा को चल दिए, वैदिक धर्म पे हो फिदा, दुनिया का दिल हिला दिया। धन्य है तुझको ऐ ऋषि, तूने हमें जगा दिया। सो के लुट रहे थे हम, तूने हमें बचा लिया। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Premji. That's really inspiring on the occasion of Rishi Bodh. Next, please.
Okay, I will do one.
हाँ जी।
ईश्वर तुम्ही दया करो, ईश्वर तुम्ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। दुर्बलता दीनता हरो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। ईश्वर तुम ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। माता तू ही, पिता तू ही, बंधु तुम ही, सखा तुम ही हमारा आसरा, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। ईश्वर तुम ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। जग को रचाने वाला तू, दुख को मिटाने वाला तू, बिगड़ी बनाने वाला तू, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। ईश्वर तुम ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। तेरी दया को छोड़ कर कुछ भी नहीं हमें खबर, जाए तो जाए हम किधर, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। ईश्वर तुम ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। तेरी लगन को छुपा, तेरा लगन तेरा मनन, तेरी ही धुन तेरी लगन, तेरी तेरा लगन तेरा मनन, तेरी ही धुन तेरी भजन, तेरे शरण में आए हम, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। ईश्वर तुम ही दया करो, तुम बिन हमारा कौन है। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Priyamji. Anybody else for bhajan? Vishruji is among us. Vishruji,
You sure you have time?
bhajan. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can sing a bhajan about Swami Dayanand's life, as this weekend is Shivratri weekend, and I used to sing a couple of old bhajans which are not prevalent at this time, but some of you may be able to connect with them. Let me see if I'm able to find that, and then we can do. So this is about Swami Dayanand's life and what he did. I don't have it on the PowerPoint, so I'll just read it from the book. तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। जितने भी संसार के सुख थे, सबसे मन को रोक लिया, सबसे मन को रोक लिया। ब्रह्मचर्य की भट्टी अंदर अपने आप को झोंक दिया, अपने आप को झोंक दिया। होके विरक्त संसार से और विषयों की भरमार से, नाते रिश्तेदार से वह प्रेम हटा कर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को वह भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। दुनिया के हर घर को समझा महर्षि ने घर अपना, महर्षि ने घर अपना, वेद की विद्या को माना था, स्वामी जी ने धन अपना, स्वामी जी ने धन अपना। सत्य वेद का भाष्य कर, सत्यार्थ प्रकाश कर, अंधकार का नाश कर, वो ज्योति जला कर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को, वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। वज्र समान बना तन अपना, ईंटें और पत्थर खाते रहे, ईंटें और पत्थर खाते रहे। गर्मी सर्दी भूख प्यास में लाखों कष्ट उठाते रहे, लाखों कष्ट उठाते रहे। भ्रम मिटा संसार से, प्रेम प्रीति और प्यार से, दुनिया के नर नार से, भय भूत भगा कर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को, वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। संवत 1940 तक वैदिक बिगुल बजा करके, वैदिक बिगुल बजा करके, मुक्ति पथ के पथिक ने आर्यों की सेना सजा करके, आर्यों की सेना सजा करके। पूर्णिमा के चंद्र थे, काटे सबके फंद थे, भीष्म वो दयानंद थे, जो विष को खाकर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को, वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। तज कर के घर बार को, मात पिता के प्यार को, करने पर उपकार को, वे भस्म रमा कर चल दिए, भस्म रमा कर चल दिए। धन्यवाद जी।
Thank you, Vishrudji. And we had the chance today from Premji and Vishrudji. So thank you, everybody. Dhananjay ji, welcome के लिए.
Thank you everyone for joining. Acharya ji, thank you for your continued service for years now. Last 1 year we are joining on the Zoom. Acharya ji is in Mauritius. Thank you Vishruji for joining and singing a very beautiful bhajan. We enjoyed the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha's bhajan Sandhya also. We heard a few bhajans after a very, very long time, which I used to sing in my childhood and in Arya Samaj. Pandita ji, Kamlesh ji, Prem ji, your beautiful bhajans again reminds all those beautiful bhajans which we have learned in our childhood. Priyam ji and Usha ji and Vimal ji have joined. Everybody, thank you for joining today. Acharya ji last week explained in his writings about month Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha, Mayo Bhavaya Cha, Namah Shankaraya Cha, Namah Shivaya Cha, Shivataraya Cha. Acharya ji probably explain one more time on this occasion of Shivratri and Rishi Bodh. We remember Swami Dayanand Saraswati for his great service to the nation and humanity. Without taking away any time from Acharya ji, please enlighten us.
Om Namaste ji. Welcome, everybody. I'll go today through a PowerPoint presentation. And welcome. So, celebrating Rishi Bodh Mahotsav. Rishi Bodh Mahotsav, celebrating the awakening of the intellect of young Mool Shankara. Rishi Bodh consists of two words, Rishi and Bodh. So let's look into the details of these two words. Rishi means a sage, a seer of insight, mantra drashta. And through meditation, contemplation, receives knowledge directly from God, understands the deep metaphysical and the concepts of life through true knowledge, that is mantra drashta, unfolding the knowledge of the Vedas, especially when they go into deep meditation at the stage of samadhi. And this is through constant yogic practice. No other recipe for that. And Bodh, as I said, is the awakening of the mental faculty. And you remember we read the mantras, Medha came several times. That's the awakening of the mental faculty, as I said, to be able to distinguish between truth and untruth, between dharma and adharma, and then affirm ourselves and our duties and shun negligence. And if we look at Bodh, events in our life trigger questions, which we tend to push down under the carpet as negligible incidents. But these same incidents, taken with the tide, contemplation, meditation, deep thinking over it, looking for the reasons and putting the mental and physical efforts, transform many into eminent scientists, inventors, etc. And what does the Rishi do? The Rishi, through dedicated, constant research over a long period of time, unfolds the knowledge of the Vedas, unfolds the spiritual sciences, along with the worldly sciences. And that is enlightenment, which is Prabodhan. Bodh is the awakening, and the outcome of that is the enlightenment. Just like, let's look at common world example. The event which triggered the awakening of the mind of Newton was the apple falling from the tree. And the enlightenment was interpretation of gravitational force. Likewise, if we take the life of Fleming, Alexander Fleming, he found mold on the bread which cured one of his injuries, and went down into it to look what was there in the mold to cure his injury, and that was penicillin. So rishis do the same thing with mantras, with the spiritual sciences. And what awakened the mind of young Mool Shankar? His name himself says, the name says Mool Shankar, the essence of Shankar. And when I gave the explanation of the Namaskar mantra, we found that Shankara means benevolent, Kalyankari, beneficial to all. And how that benefits us, we need to understand the true concepts of God. So the first question which triggered in the mind of Mool Shankar was about death. Following the death of his uncle and sister. So the questions was, what is death? What happens after death? Second, the Shivratri event. Who is God? And remember, it's not the first time that people were seeing death. It's not the first time that people were seeing prasad offered left in the open were desecrated by other pests. But the question came to him, if that is the real Shiva, why can't it protect the prasad? So questions like this comes to us every day. But as I said, let's look at one particular event. When we attend a cremation ceremony or go to pay homage to someone who's passed away, till that moment we understand that we also have to leave this earth and leave everything behind. But do we put ourselves the question, where do we go next? And if ever we put the questions, while coming out of that place where we've gone to pay homage, we just forget everything there. So if we start putting questions and looking for the answers, we'll also go to the level of bodh, that is awakening of the mind, to start looking for the answers. And when we have the answers, the proper answers, that is enlightenment. So the outcome of bodh, of Mool Shankar, Mool means the essence, Shankar, one of the many names of the one and only God. The outcome was he unfolded the knowledge of the Vedas after getting the teachings from Guru Virjan. He pledged to fight social evils, blind faith, superstitions, and founded the Arya Samaj to carry on his tasks. And remember, he founded Arya Samaj with a very high, noble vision and mission statement: to do good to the whole world through the uplift of the physical, mental, moral, spiritual, and social standards of all. Look at the farsightedness in 1875. And now we see organizations created with a mission and vision statement. It came only in the late 1980s. So the outcome of that bodh, prabodhan, enlightenment, brought to us the concept of understanding life after death is we have to grow to attain moksha, mukti, breaking that cycle of birth and death. And the pathway to that is dharma, artha, kam, righteous living, righteous earnings, righteous enjoyment, and on the path of righteousness, doing good, doing beneficial, benevolent actions, selfless service, living according to dharma will surely progress to moksha. And the way forward was Maharshi Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, starting from yama and niyama, social and personal discipline, and yama, niyama. After that, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. This is the steps. All of them need to be followed by one and step by step till we reach the stage of samadhi. We start with self-realization, realization of prakriti, and realization of God. He taught us the concept of abhisht and pita. Worldly and spiritual life goes as the parallel tracks of human life. He told us also on the concept of bhakti, devotion. Kasmai deva yahavisha vidhema. Devotion, understand it from the worldly example of a devoted child. Following the instructions of the parents and the teachers. And if we want to be a devotee of God, of Ishwar, let's follow the instructions and the guidance. Now let's look at common thing that we do within Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj, unfortunately, we tend to think that going to Havan and performing Havan, that's the whole of what means to be spiritual in life. There's much more beyond that. We listen to so many lectures. We understand, even if we catch one line of each and every lecture, we understand and implement them in our life. I think at the end of 1 year, if we listen to 20 lectures, that will change our life. But today I'll keep it strictly to Havan Yajna, which we tend to think that this is the limit of spirituality in life. Understanding the subtle concepts behind the rituals, I think, will be better empowered to live spirituality as spiritual reality in day-to-day life. The first concept about mantra chanting. We often see when people are doing mantra chanting, all other things take priority. The mantra chanting, it's only the mouth which is opening and closing. It goes mechanical. Whereas the mantra says, Kasmai Deva Yahavisha Vidhema. Follow the instructions and the guidance of the divinity. At least follow the guidance of the inner voice. We have to be patient to learn to silence our mind and listen to that inner voice. Mantra chanting. If we follow the sequence, listen to our own chanting. Let's take one example, the chanting of Om. When we chant Om, it says Om. If we follow where the sound starts from and where it ends, and we follow the sound traveling, the vibrations traveling around our body, we'll be able to start enjoying inner peace within ourselves. So that's one part of it, which is sound therapy. Second, if we get to know the broad meanings of the mantras, if we take one mantra probably for 1 week, contemplate on the general meaning, like Vishwani Deva Savitar Doritani Parasva. Oh God, guide the soul, and the soul in turn trigger the mind, the intellect, man, buddhi, chit, to start eliminating the ills and evils of our life, and in that place fill in all that is beneficial. So if we understand the concept, the work is ours. Without our physical and mental efforts, God won't be able to do anything for us. So let's understand from that. Let's understand when we are saying Gayatri Mantra, we are praying to God for what? Dhyo yo naha prachodayat. Hey Ishwar hamari buddhi ko sanmarg satya marg par le chale. Yani हमारी बुद्धि को सत्य कामों और सत्य विचारों, सत्य कामों में प्रेरित करें. Enlighten the mind into righteous thoughts and righteous actions. So if we start understanding one by one, I say even if we take one mantra during a month, at the end of 1 year, it makes 12 mantras. At the end of 10 years, we should understand all the Havan mantras in the broad lines. I'm not saying word meaning, I'm saying in the broad lines. That will help us to put up the efforts to realize at least we start our own awakening. And the end result will be the enlightenment of our personality. Mantras have 3 components, Stuti, Prasna, and Upasana. Understand that Stuti is not meant, praising God is not meant to please God. We often think that offerings are made to please God. God is, as we say, nirvikar, immutable. There's no mutation which happens to God. If we praise him, he's not happy. And if we, as we say, talk bad about God, God is never unhappy. He's just watching us. Ved says, Dua Suparna Sayuja Sakha. He's the silent, God is the silent observer of our karma, and in due time will give us the outcome. Stuti is done mainly praising the good qualities, to be able to get them in our life gradually, slowly, and in turn be divine in whatever we do. It's meant to unfold the divinity within us. And prarthana, I said, without physical and mental efforts, we get nothing. I often use the reference of the coolie at the railway stations in India. You have a heavy luggage, he will say, Haath lagao. And once you put your hand, symbolically, he will lift a weight which is probably heavier than his own weight. So this is one example. Yatha pinde tatha brahmande, yatha brahmande tatha pinde. What we see at the micro level is also at the macro level. What we see at the macro level is also at the micro level. So prarthana bhi वैसे ही पुरुषार्थ करेंगे तो फल मिलेगा. Without the physical mental efforts, zero. And with 100% physical and mental efforts, it's 100% results. Then upasana, communion, meditation. And that leads us to realization of the self, connecting the soul with the Supreme Soul. And this is where we start walking on the path of Mukti, Moksha. The next one, let's look at the processes now. Atman, why Atman? What is symbolical? Physical effect, it clears the throat for further mantra chanting. But water symbolizes purity. Water symbolizes tranquility. Water symbolizes bonding. Water symbolizes transformation. So let's adopt the purity of water. Water, however muddy it becomes during flood, when it's settled down, the sediment is down and it's pure. So whatever be the ups and downs of our life, let's keep the purity there. And if we don't muddle our life will be pure. Transformation, when we start acquiring the virtues, never go back on the old habits. Tranquility, look at water, the ripples in a pond, and once the ripple comes to the center, it's calm. So whatever be the ups and downs, let's remain with a balanced mind. Transformation, easy. Look at the kitchen. We've added water to cook food, to cook rice, to cook roti, and no science can revert it back. So let's be like that. So the Achman has one physical aspect of clearing the throat, but the underlining things that we can learn from water, if we learn that and apply it in our life, we'll become pure. And then Ang-Sparsh, touching of the limbs. Do we realize that we are pledging to keep those limbs on the righteous path? It's only the realization of that will lead to awakening of our mind, and that awakening which transform into our actions. After that, Agni Adhan, we are lighting the lamp. Look at the lamp, below it, it's always the darkness. But look at the glowing flame spreading the light all around. Can we be the light in our life? Can we be the light in the life of our relatives and friends and our surroundings? If we transcend beyond that, a lamp with a ghee spreads the fragrance, the sattvic qualities of the ghee. So the fragrance in our life, as we say, Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam, that sugandh in our life, that fragrance in our life comes only from our actions, manasa, vacha, karmana, from our thoughts, from our words, and from our physical actions. understand the science behind the use of fire, combustion, evaporation, sublimation, reducing the elements of ghee and samagri as microparticles, sending them as vapors into the atmosphere. I'll come back again to that. Let's look at the Agni Samindhan mantra. The mantra itself says Udbud. The fire should be now blazing. That's why formerly we're fanning the fire, because we brought the embers from the kitchen fire when we had that wood fire. But now we use camphor and everything. So what we do, we pour ghee to get it blazing. So can we get the light of our life blazing? The virtues just glowing around. And let's fan the fire. Let's get the virtues brighter and brighter in our life. Samidhadan, can we become, look at the Samidha. Once you introduce it into the fire, it starts burning and it becomes firelight and never to go back. Can we, once we adopt good qualities, become one with the goodness and never go back on the badness in life? So these are points, questions, or ideas which I'm just throwing just to awaken the mind on some aspects of the rituals, which if we understand, can lead us to enlighten our personality. The next one would be about Panchagrit Ahuti, 5 oblations of ghee. And this is also done to get the fire blazing, because the next process would be offering of ghee and samagri. So get the fire blazing more. So when we start developing virtues and be in the company of virtuous persons, as we say, Vishwe Deva in Shanti part, or there in the Stuti Prarthana Upasana, we say, Vishwani Deva Vayuna Nivedwan. We always be in the company of learned and elderly persons, so that by sharing their life experiences and their knowledge, we can grow on the path of being more and more virtuous. The Dal Sechanam, sprinkling of water around the Havan Kund. One of the physical aspects is like ants and other small insects which are just running on the floor, don't creep and get burnt into the fire, just to ward them off. There's one process which goes there, that water also will go up as vapors, mixed with the gases from the Havan Kund, will give us also formaldehyde, a powerful antiseptic which we use in life, especially in the OTs, operation theaters, to create aseptic conditions. So can we create that, as we say, that boundary of virtuousness, so that ills and evils don't come to our life? The next one, Aghara Vajyahuti. The last one, I forgot about the directions. Look about the directions. We use the east first, then the west. The east is always the direction of sunrise, light, physical light daily, and the physical natural light. That shows us we always grow towards light, because light allows us to take cognizance of our environment and learn about the physical sciences. Will be able to comply at least with the laws of nature. Then we proceed clockwise. If we stand at the equator and observe the rotation of the earth around its axis, we'll see it goes clockwise. So let's maintain the balance, the equilibrium with nature and whatever the physical sciences of this earth. Agharavadyahuti, pouring the ghee again from northwest to northeast, southwest to southeast, always telling us, Agni Mile Purohitam, following the light of knowledge will be able to do the welfare, engage in welfare. And then there's another significance to those 4 mantras, which I used to explain. Usually Agnihotra within the Grihast ashram, married life is done with the husband seated on the left and this wife on the right-hand side. Right-hand side signifies respect. Then the husband seated on the north, symbolizing energy, creativity, and bringing all the necessities or the necessary things to run the household. And the wife represents serenity, calmness, level-headedness in household management. So there is also spiritual significance behind each and every of these things. It's not only symbolical. We need to understand. The ahutis of ghee and samagri. Look at the oblations. As I said, combustion, evaporation, sublimation makes the essential oils of the ghee and samagri goes into vapors. So once it goes into vapors, one starts spreading the fragrance all around. And I will tell you one personal experience. Once I was going to a Mahayajna and I was about half an hour late. So at that time I didn't have a car, so I had to walk about 1 kilometer from the bus stop to go there. And about 500 meters from the distance, I could feel the fragrance of Havan, of the vapors of Havan. And we had special samedhas, people, bar, and all these. It was a combination of, I think, 12 or 14 varieties of wood sticks. And the samagri, we boosted that with the sweet spices that we have in the kitchen. Elaichi, long, cardamom, clove, nutmeg, jaifal. We have those moong dal without the husk, urad dal without the husk, gur, honey, raw milk, all these things mixed with the samagri. And that increased the potency. And what happens is that those essential medicinal herbs and substances going into vapors, when we say pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, dhyanaya swaha, so we are also doing pranayam, prana, apan, and dhyan, triggering, activating the various life forces in our body. And when taking these vapors it goes into our bloodstream, boost our immunity system. So if we understand the logic, we'll be also able to put the arguments of dharma towards people. Why we do yajna. And what is the benefit of yajna? Because it doesn't only benefit us, it benefits people in the surroundings. And the last one, let's look at Ashirvad, the blessings. Yajurved 36th chapter, which is Shanti Sukta. The second mantra says, Yanme Chadram Chakshusho Hridayasya. So if we stand as a colander, a recipient with so many holes, will never be able to feel the grace, the blessings of Ishvara around us. And the holes are running towards temporary sensual pleasures. Remember, the Vedas say worldly happiness and spiritual happiness. So there need to be moderation in life. And with a concept of aparigraha in yoga. That is, don't accumulate superfluous things, ideas, and everything. Otherwise, we'll do the cramming, physical cramming, mental cramming, and everything. So let's be moderate in life and patch up the holes. By being moderate, we don't indulge in transient pleasures. We'll, like we say, we'll take food to sustain life. We'll be drinking things that will increase our lifespan. And we'll live a balanced life with some physical exercises, some mental exercises, some pranayama and everything, just to boost our physical health, mental health, and things like that. When we patch up all these holes in our life, then we'll become the proper recipient. And when the grace of Ishwar God is flowing around us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we'll be able to hold that grace and really lead a blessed life. So remember, the efforts are none others than ours. And the last part of it would be understanding Shanti part. I always do Shanti part in the yogic meditative form so that we can connect each and every word with a respective Shanti. Then we'll understand the how, who, why, when, what, where will be receiving peace. If we are not peaceful with all the elements in the universe, with all around us, whether it be all species, all forms of life, or inert matter. If I'm not peaceful towards the earth, I'm not peaceful towards the air, towards the space, towards the waters. If I'm not peaceful towards these, how can these elements give me peace? I'm just polluting the world all around. I'm creating a hell for myself. And I'm just praying for Shantipat? No, I have to be peaceful to all these. It even says, Vishwe Deva Shanti. So I need to give peace to all those around me, the elderly, the learned, and everybody. Then Sama Shanti, peace, be peaceful. So let's create a situation where we'll be able to maintain peace without fighting for peace. Remember, the fights for peace are never-ending wars. We've seen that in the Middle East. So understand the concept of peace starts from me, within me. And the best way to start building peace within us, Yog Darshan says, Tasya Vachaka Pranava. Do the Om chanting, understand. Then it says, Tad Japas Tadartha Bhavanam. For whatever mantra we use for jap, understand the general meaning of the mantra. Get that general meaning running in the mind, and our mind won't be wandering around. And when that generic meaning will be running along with the mantras, will be one within the mantra and feel the inner peace within us. So this is where Pujya Maharshi Swami Dayanand has brought us to. Are we going to keep ourselves by saying Arya Samaj is only the place we go for Havan, and once Havan is done, we move out, we forget everything there? Or we're going to take each and every of these points, probably one at a time. And if there are 20, 30 points there, if we take 1 point over 1 month, within 2-3 years, we should be able to transform our life and really, really be masters of abhisht, worldly pleasures, and pita, spiritual treasures. That would be the point where we'll start living spirituality as spiritual reality, and as I said, as the dual tracks of the railway line. So thanks to Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati for having brought to us the concept of Bodh and enlightenment. Thanks to Ishwar God for the time, the occasion, the knowledge, the means that He's given to us to attend this satsang. Even out of the dire times of COVID, we find time through Zoom to virtually meet. Thanks to the parents and gurus in our life, the teachers, the mentors, and several others who gave us the benefits through sanskars and teachings. Thanks to Maharishi Dayanand Ji Saraswati and Arya Samaj. From my personal experience, from my point of view, if Arya Samaj was not next door to my parents' house, probably I wouldn't have been here in front of you talking to you. So thanks to Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, who unfolded the knowledge of the Vedas to show us that it's dhyan, karma, and upasana working together. It's not three different aspects of life, distinct aspects which are not linked to each other. Dhyan, knowledge; karma, actions; upasana, devotion; bhakti, communion. So everything goes hand in hand. Thanks to Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati for having given us the understanding of the Vedas, the Rig Veda as Dhyan Kand, knowledge; Yajurved, Karma Kand, guiding us on actions; Samved, Bhakti, Upasana Kand, leading us to devotion; and Atharvaved, Vijnana Kand, on the science. But remember, Maharishi Dayanand has also taught us on how to understand the Vedas. He says, Shabda, Artha, Sambandh. This is the Vidyan or the science. Know the words, know the various meanings of the words. Shabda, Arth, then Sambandh, put the appropriate meaning within the context. Don't go out of context. Thanks also to the facilitators and audience for this opportunity to serve you all. Dhananjay for making all the arrangements and being the host. And for all those who've been joining us, I think more or less for about 1 year now or more, regularly on Sundays. And thanks to our mentor and founder, father figure, Dr. Deen Bandhu Chandora, not here today with us, but it's good to pay homage to Vishrudji and the Aryapatindi Sabha, who gave me the opportunity to serve you there in America, and hope to see you physically there soon. Thank you for your attention. I just hope I've been able to trigger some of the questions, to awaken, to shake up your mind, to put you on the path of Bodh, and wish you a safe journey on the enlightenment of the self, physical self, spiritual self, and the betterment of our own selves as members of the humane society. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Acharya, for your beautiful presentation and explaining whole meaning of Havan Yagya today. And Dr. Sava has joined. He's here with us. And
yeah, I was sharing screen, so that I didn't notice him.
Yes, yes. And I see Vimalji is here. Vimalji, can you tell us about yourself? Where are you joining from? Vimalji, I see somebody new here. And in last...
Vimalji is from Mississauga.
Where?
Mississauga, on the side of Toronto, Canada.
Okay. And Muruganji has also joined in last few minutes. We welcome her also.
Yeah, this is also from Toronto.
Welcome. And just wanted to know that if everybody is doing good, and how is the vaccination going on? Acharya told us that there is again lockdown in Mauritius, but Premji, how is going on in your side of the world?
They have been doing 80 plus and they have started AstraZeneca with the 60 to 64. So we haven't received anything yet
Okay.
because we are in the middle, kind of. So we are waiting for the call. Hopefully,
Okay.
maybe in 2 weeks or something, 4 weeks. I don't know. That's what the latest is. Thank
Okay. Okay. So I believe that may be general in Canada. Whoever is joining
We
from
are
Canada.
slow. We are slow because we are not manufacturing it. We are getting from others. So first they have their own priorities. Then comes we. So that's why we are behind, I think.
Okay. Okay. And we here in Atlanta, I am with my mother-in-law. So we got the first dose of the vaccine just yesterday in Atlanta because the people with elderly parents they are allowed to take the
You
vaccine.
also got it?
Yeah, we also got the first dose.
Yeah.
My mom got both the doses.
She
Oh, I
got
see. And you guys got 1 or 2?
The first dose.
first dose.
First one. Okay. That's good. Taking care of parents is an advantage now. Looks like.
No, we were kind of very worried because my mom is like
Like my
76
sister
years
is
old.
60
So,
years old. She got it. And she's asking me, you got it? You got it? I said, no, I didn't get it. No call yet.
how
So,
So here, unfortunately, in Mauritius, we community spread again started last week, 1 week before. And
uh-huh.
as of today, it's 125 active cases. And
Yeah.
the government has implemented lockdown so that because it's an island, it's easy to contain once you start putting the lockdown. And going to supermarkets also is on alphabetical orders, so we avoid the crowds. Social distancing, mask wearing is compulsory whenever we go out. I just hope we'll be able to contain it fast like it was done last year. So I was just waiting because vaccination program started, but then was halted, and then it's again to start on Monday. But then flights again, some of the flights were coming and going, and that also has been halted. I just hope we'll be able to start again soon, and then probably be there in your midst soon.
Thank you. Hope for the best.
We're
Kamlesh ji.
wishing all the best to everyone.
So Priyamji, what is going on?
I'm saying we are wishing all the best to everyone and to stay safer. And the way, even Mauritius, the way it is disciplined, like this is a very good step the government of Mauritius taking. Like they follow everywhere who could be in touch, could be in contact with. So they try to put those aside and help a lot. And like that, the world is, yes, suffering. God bless. God is going to save everyone. We are praying for everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, and hopefully everybody will get the vaccine sooner. And now we will proceed with the Aarti Vandana ji.
Om Jai Jagdish Hare, Swami Jai Jagdish Hare, भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का, प्रभु दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे,
शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी, गहूँ मैं किसकी, तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा, आस करूँ मैं जिसकी, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति, किस विधि मिलू दया मैं, किस विधि मिलू दया मैं, तुमको मैं कुमति, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे, स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे, अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार पड़ा मैं तेरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी पाप हरो देवा, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Let's move now to Shanti Path, closing. भगवान इस परिवार को सुख का सदा वरदान दो, ज्ञान की गंगा बहाकर शुद्ध वैदिक ज्ञान दो, निरोग होकर सब जिए शतवर्ष आयुष्मान हो, धन धान्य से पूरित सदा यश युक्त कीर्तिमान हो, पुत्र पौत्रादिक सभी बलवान हो, श्रीमान हो, विद्वान हो, मतिमान हो, धर्मात्मा धीमान हो। ओम द्यौ शांति, अंतरिक्षम शांति, पृथ्वी शांति, आपः शांति, ओषधयः शांति, वनस्पतयः शांति, विश्वे देवाः शांति, ब्रह्म शांति, सर्वं शांति, शांतिरेव शांति, साम शांतिरेधि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Says prayers for universal peace. O Ishvara God, by your grace, may the celestial regions, the all be peaceful, Antariksh, the space be peaceful, Prithvi, the earth be peaceful, Apah, the waters be peaceful, Oshadhayah, the seasonal crops and medicinal plants be peaceful. Vanaspatayah, the perennial crop plants and vegetation be peaceful. Vishwe Devaha, the learned and elderly be conducive to peace and prosperity. Brahma, may the supreme creator, reliever of pains and sorrows, bring us peace. Sarvam Shanti, may the universe be peaceful. Shanti Reva, may peace be peaceful. Sama Shanti, may that peace be with us. And the free times Shantis, may there be cosmic, physical, and spiritual peace. May we be free from Adhyatmic, Adibautik, and Adidevik Dukh. Bhojan Mantra, mealtime prayer. Om Annapate Annasya no deyanamivasya sushmina Prapradataram tarisha Urjando dehi dvipade chatushpade. हे अन्न के स्वामिन प्रभु, आप हमें अन्न दो जो रोग रहित और पुष्टि कारक हो। आप अन्नदाता का कल्याण करो। दो पाए मनुष्यों और चौपाए प्राणियों आदि में तेज धारण करो। O अन्नदाता, ईश्वर, giver of food, kindly provide us with healthy and energy-producing food. Grant serenity to all those who give food in charity. May all living beings be blessed with energy-giving food. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So thank you, everybody. Wish you a nice week ahead. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
वंदना जी, मेरा प्यार दीजिएगा यश को और आर्यन को।
हाँ, बिल्कुल। एक्चुअली यश का बर्थडे था ऑन ट्यूसडे, लेकिन बिकॉज ही इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन साइंस ओलंपियाड कंपटीशन राइट नाउ, सो इसीलिए बच्चे नहीं ज्वाइन किए आज।
ओके, गुड लक।
थैंक यू।
उसको बहुत बहुत आशीर्वाद जन्मदिन का।